So Delron now starting the match with a serve, and it's a double fault. The 15. And that actually was the second serve of the second point. So it was 11-30. So Delron actually hit 2 double faults to start this match. It was a match that was full of errors on both sides. Tony's racket now being strung with main strings which are gut rather than polyester as before, so they got a huge increase in bounce. So that was something that really was a problem throughout the match, and he ended up changing rackets to another racket because he just couldn't handle the strings. So Delron serving, and that's another double. So that's 11-40. So this is actually 3 double faults in a row to start the match. So here we go now. That's out. Pressure on. That's a double. So there you go. Tony indicating to the camera that he's seen something special there. It's not often you see an entire game with just double faults. Okay, here we go now. Later on into the game. Oh, fortunate net cord. Here we go now with Delron serving. And a nice volley. This showing the best and the worst of Delron's game, really. So here we see now with his serve, and you'll see that he doesn't take his racket up at all until he decides to swing. So the racket doesn't go down behind his back; it just stays sort of parallel, like a waiter's tray. There you go. Tony looping the ball back, a bit scared to hit it full because the strings are like a trampoline. Delron, bad techniques, just swinging straight at the ball. A nice, good shot pulling him off court. And again, Tony's in sort of automatic pilot here. He's not going for too much, just controlling that ball off into the backhand side. Delron again swinging, trying to aim it across, but it turning into a lob. But now charging forward, which is a feature he does throughout the game. I mean, that's a really good volley. I mean, you can't get a better volley than that. The ball doesn't move forward after the first bounce. Very good reactions and good charging forward, but the forehand and backhand before that, technically, a lot of work needs doing. Another point. Again, one of these loopy sort of backhands. Now this was called out. Now this is... There's a few dodgy calls possibly in the game, but this does not go out. This isn't even close to the line. Delron calls this out, and it lands over a foot inside the court. It's not close. And Tony serving now. And again, Delron charging the net, and he gets the win from that. The pressure and the wide ball, Tony misses it. Again, Tony is chipping the ball back and not swinging through it fully because he doesn't have any faith in the control over the ball that he's got. There you go, another point. Serve still needs work. Still not going into the trophy pose. And that's nice. Again, Delron's technique kind of a bit flat, a bit sort of, I don't know how I describe it. But there's no spin on it, so if it does land deep, it beats the player. Now that's a nice serve return. We've seen Tony do this to Timo before. The serve goes out wide. Delron gets a nice-ish return on it. Tony backs up a bit, and then wrong foots him. Again. Tony controlling the rally. Delron's kind of crazy backhand, and that was long. But a nice little rally between the two of them. It's hard to get a rhythm on Delron's game sometimes because you can't predict how the ball will come off the racket. Case in point, that was a good serve, good solid serve. Delron lashed it, and that was a very good return. And again, the ball doesn't really bounce when the way Delron hits it, so flat, no margin for error. But you'll see now. So I mean, that's a nice solid serve. He gets the racket on it. There's no spin on it, so it's bounced twice within about 2 feet of the first bounce. But again, if you watch racket path, it's a straight line. Delron serving. That was topspin. And then again, you watch that. That's not topspin on that shot. Again, good charging in. Tony going crazy. That happened over and over where there was short balls. Tony came in and it's going to hit the back fence. He storms off there. He's actually changed his racket to a different racket. Okay, now here we go again. Now this is watch this double hits Delron's racket and the ball hits the ground and bends off at a right angle. So it hits the frame and then the strings in a double bounce. I don't know if you can pick that up. Here we go. So it does hit both. And then watch bounce and then turns. That doesn't go in a straight line. So Tony was in position and then just couldn't do anything about that. One side spin, I don't know what happened. That's going to throw anyone. You aim in to try and strike through it, and there's Tony whinging about it there. Good return. Tony's threading it down the side. Not a bad shot. Not going for anything too crazy. Because again, neither racket that he's got that much faith in its control. But there you go, so just guide it down. And again, nice finish. Good backhand though. And that finds the line. Delron charging the net's probably a very good tactic for him, to be honest. Rather than staying at the back of the court, because you can put a racket on the ball. Again, that was quite nice. We'll see that again now. So again, serve. See, if he could bring his hand up, then he could be able to drop the racket behind his shoulders. But he doesn't. So he only strings for it there. The last half a second, he lifts it up and lifts it back. Never going to get much power. I know he hit an ace doing this game. That's nice. I mean, there was top spin on that as well. That had some side spin on it. I don't know if you can see that, but the shot was hit as a slice shot, so it does not kick up off the ground at all. Yeah, sliced it round. It curves a little bit in the air, but also isn't going to kick forward, isn't going to shoot forward. So it bounces almost twice by the time Delron goes to swinging it. Nice again. It's a good tactic. Chipping it forward, coming in behind it, put it away. Particularly, it was a good idea because Tony's not charging it, not really smashing the ball. And then, well, I think he apologised. He should have. That's a horrific volley. But this is one of the last points that I've got on here. This final score was 6-2, 6-1 to Tony. But watch this volley. Watch where the rack is pointing and see where the ball ends up. How does that work? That is purely the corner of the frame. It must be. The laws of physics mean it can only be that.